Here in the WRAL Live Center, essentially, I'm watching some of the headlines that we're seeing coming out of Florida right now. We're talking about the damage that we're seeing. We're talking about the flooding, the wind damage as well, and the people who are without power right now. 3 million plus currently in Florida. The other thing that I'm watching, there are so many flood warnings that are in place right now for Florida in various places. You'll see that right here on this headline on this website we're seeing at the NBC station in Orlando. I want to show you this at full screen. Look at this massive wave. This was actually taken around 1 o'clock our time yesterday, but it just shows you how powerful and how big the waves were for Milton inside the storm as those hurricane hunters were tracking that. We're certainly looking to see for more videos and the impact that we're going to see in regard to other places in Florida. Join me again in about 30 minutes because I'm going to show you more damages from a place I used to work in Fort Myers, Florida.
Big impacts from Milton. Take a look at this. The baseball stadium being used as a temporary shelter in St. Petersburg suffered damage to its roof in Milton. The storm's high winds tore fabric from the roof at Tropicana Field, home of the Tampa Bay Rays. The stadium was set up as a shelter for as many as 10,000 people. There are no reports of any injuries there.
Renee, Milton brought death and damage even before making landfall, though. It spun up tornadoes as it moved across Florida. Pretty impressive looks at two of them here. First responders say they are in rescue mode this morning in St. Lucie County. At least 2 people died after tornadoes touched down there. One area responders focusing on is the retirement community there, where the St. Lucie County Sheriff estimates around 100 homes were destroyed. Traffic camera video shows widespread power outages right there in the making. You see it go out right there in the Tampa area. You see that moment the lightning struck from the storm and knocked out the lights. That was over I-275 major highway there. Lights came on pretty quickly, but millions of homes and businesses across the state are still experiencing those outages.
And this is new video of the flooding in Punta Gorda. That's just north of Fort Myers. You can see the water is close to the top of the tires of cars parked there.
Today, a lot of folks will be escaping Florida still ahead of Milton. They did that in the days ahead. They're making their way to North Carolina now. And WRAL's Kelsey Coffey joins us live from I-95, where people are staying at hotels, even sleeping in their cars at rest areas. Kelsey, good morning.
Jeff, good morning. If folks left the Tampa area at the last minute yesterday, they could be driving through North Carolina right now. We even saw a car parked here at the rest stop in Johnston County with a Florida tag. And our crew spoke with folks who were here about how they traveled miles out of state to find safety. A hotel manager along I-95 in Johnston County says a lot of people from Florida are booking rooms. Our crews even saw some folks sleeping in their cars at rest stops.
You've seen a lot of people with a lot of luggage in the back of the car, like, you know, they don't know when they're going to be able to come back, and we absolutely don't know.
And so many of the people that our crews met yesterday say that they could only pack their most valuable items, and they're hoping to find things back home as they left them. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Johnston County.
Fort Myers is one of the communities battered after the powerful winds and storm surge from Milton. NBC's Jay Gray is there this morning. He joins us live. And Jay, the storm passed through there quickly, but it certainly packed a punch.
Yeah, no question that it left a mark. Things have calmed, thankfully, Renee, at this point, but we had strong winds, driving rain, causing significant problems. And that storm surge, we talked a lot about that before the storm. We've seen damage from storm surge here in Fort Myers and across the state. Here, that water pushing into businesses along the coastline. Look, we know that there are more than 3 million people without power right now across the state, and that number likely to climb. The National Hurricane Center saying within the last 15 to 20 minutes, the eye of this storm has moved off the eastern side of the peninsula. So that's good news. This storm is moving through. And as soon as we get daybreak, we'll have a better idea of the extent of the damage here. But I can tell you the system also spawning 24 or more tornadoes, one of those deadly on the East Coast, one here in Fort Myers, ripping the roof from a home and damaging several businesses. So again, multiple problems from both wind and water, and we'll get a clear picture once the sun comes up.
And Jay, clearly it looks like the rain has moved out where you are, but we know with all that torrential rain, how bad is the flooding there?
It's been significant. We've seen standing water in the downtown area of Fort Myers and across Lee County where we are. And so you've got some from the storm surge, then you've got that rain. In some areas, they've seen close to 20 inches of rain with this storm. So that's going to continue to be a problem. Water being pushed into areas it's really never been before here.
Jay Gray reporting live from Fort Myers. Jay, thank you.
The WRAL News app is your tool for live video, radar, and storm updates. Be sure to have your notifications turned on so you can get the latest alerts